What's up, friends? Welcome back to the number 2 podcast. I'm Glenn.
I'm Simi.
And this episode is going to be spooky. Welcome back to the pod. As always, please like, subscribe, leave a comment, let us know how you feel, and share.
Are you a social person? You are. I feel like you're a small talker.
Well, I code shift, so I can do a character. And the character is like...
Just quiet.
He's quiet at first until approach. And then, I can banter with the best of them until it gets personal. Or usually they try and sell me something. They're like, have you heard of this Kagan water? A special machine? If you give me $2,000, you're like, no, I'm not the one.
Oh, and if you don't have a fridge that dispenses ice and water...
Oh, the luxury.
It's a luxury. And you're like, I need one of these in my life. Oh my gosh.
The luxury. The side note about ice and water, one of the gym locations I go to, it's very far away, in Orange County, has a Pebble ice machine and a water machine. They actually have two of them next to each other. I mean, it's...
Okay, Pebble machine is next level.
I thought this gym was nice just because it wasn't like crazy, like 24-hour fitness. And when I discovered it was complimentary, I mean, I bring a tumbler. I bring a Costco coffee cold brew unopened. I bring another bottle because I want to make sure I have my ice water with Pebble ice. I have a vessel just to have ice. Then I would like to have my tumbler filled with ice, filled with water, filled with liquid IV. And once I finish that, then I'm able to pour in the coffee cold brew, no cream, so I can further enjoy the ice. And then I'll go to work after. That's why I go there. And the Pebble ice will still be fully formed in my car, even on a hot day, in the tumbler. So then when I get off work, I am able to enjoy the ice as well. And it is, if we want to solve America's problems, we need to fund the Pebble ice industry further so that every American can have Pebble ice, because it is amazing. And the real struggle is you can make your own ice. You can, that's the excuse. That's what Big Ice wants you to think. And that's what we do here, because we don't have an ice machine. We have 4 ice trays that I have to refill constantly. And it's you never need 20 ice cubes. You know what I mean? You need 3, but then it's do I fill those 3 with water, or do I just leave it? I mean, you leave it in there for some reason, but you're supposed to fill it because you never know. But it's a pain in the butt. And if you could just, have ice.
Yeah.
I mean, can you imagine? We would have no problems.
Honey, I think we're poor.
No, I know we're poor. I've always been poor. I've been poor financially and mentally most of my life.
But we're rich poor.
But I'm rich poor. Oh, yeah. And we're incredibly privileged. But that's what big privileged wants you to think, which is astronomical. I have a topic. I had something happen to me. I won't tell the whole story. But basically, I needed new tires. Did I talk about this? I talked about car problems on the pod.
You did.
And I was lied to by the internet. And I did not realize that your vehicle can have... I thought all 4 tires were the same in a car, but it turns out that is not the case in all cars, which is crazy because
we are poor and we drive, or Glenn drives, our Mercedes.
An older Mercedes. Anyway, that I did not buy. It was sort of gifted. Anyway, but apparently a car can have 2 different sizes of tire, which I didn't know. And then when you do all this research online to buy new tires, they should tell you that, but it didn't, even though I read the sticker and everything.
Big tires.
Big tire wants to waste your time. So anyway, I ordered tires. It took 10 days to get them to Costco. And I called every day and I was like, are my tires there? Are my tires there? And Costco needs to hire a technical team because their app...
Calling you out, Costco.
Costco thinks they just raise their prices, and they should not, because their app sucks. They don't give you any shipping information. There's no tracking number. The people in the warehouse have no idea. All they know is they go, what's the item number? What's the item number? Which I know from Instagram, because people will post stuff in certain states and say, if you want, these steak bites, or if you want this plushie in your Costco, you have to tell the manager the item number, whatever. I'm familiar with that. But for my order, which was a special order, that's all they wanted. They didn't want my order number. They wanted the item number. Anyway, so they came in and I go in to have them installed. And I got there 2 hours before, because you cannot get an appointment. It is harder to see the boys at Costco Tire than it is to get into Omnia in Las Vegas. It's insane. And I showed up 2 hours before. They open at 10. I showed up at 8. And there were already 5 people in line. And one woman who had a cane brought a chair. She knew she'd done it before. And then there was 3 other people, this weird lady with socks, and then me, and then an extensive line formed behind me. So I waited very patiently, got to the front. They do have the tires. We'll take your keys. And he said, because you don't have an appointment, it's going to be a couple hours. even though I was the 5th customer of the day, but I had no appointment because there are no appointments. So I went to get coffee. 2 hours go by and the guy calls it 2 hours go by. And I'm the 5th customer. They call me. I'm doing TikToks at a strip mall because what else am I supposed to do? And he says, you need 2 different sizes of tire and we don't have that tire. And I'm like, I'm 10 days into this process and it's been 2 hours and you just figured that out. Like the computer didn't tell you, the ordering system, like you looked at my car and they're like, we don't have the tires.
But there was a customer service issue, you were telling me.
Oh, it was horrible. I mean, this is the longest story ever. I don't even know why I'm talking about this, but I'm just irate. You know, when you're like irate about something.
I mean, it was horrible. It was astronomical. The fact that you had to wait all this time and do that, it's like my friend used to work at Costco, at this specific Costco, and Glenn called her and was like, oh yeah, these guys.
I was panicking because I've never been in a situation like that. I've never been accused of a crime before. Especially at Costco. I mean,
we'll
it was
have Letty on the we'll have Letty on the podcast one day. We'll talk about this.
For Costco tips, we should. People like that. Anyway, long story short, I had to make the return and I had to buy tires elsewhere. But the return process at Costco, and I'm going to look in the camera and tell you, I do not return things. There are human beings on this earth. I think they're part of the problem.
Oh yeah, it's an ick for you.
Take advantage of the return process. If you buy something, you should keep it.
And I return things all the time, and you like hate me for that.
Unless it's like you bought it for work or it's like a one time you had to fix something and you needed the wrench or whatever. Like I understand situations like that because you're never going to use the item again and it's wasteful.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like better to get the money back. Somebody else can buy it. It's not damaged. But there are so many people that wait in that line at Target, wait in that line at Costco. And it's like you should have never bought the thing. Like I watched people in the Costco line and it's like they bought snacks basically and they had 6 of them and they just decided they didn't want the rest to return it. It's like you're wasteful. Like,
oh, some people just have no shame.
They have no shame. Like, and it's just like, you're just wasting everybody's time. And I wish, I hate to say this, but I wish companies would have less lenient return policies because I think the prices would go down. I think it would be better for the world. You know what I mean? And like, truly, if there's something wrong, the company will understand and say like, yeah, we'll give you a refund. But it's literally people like buying 10 dresses, wearing them and then returning them.
Big returns.
And it's like horrible for all of us. But anyway, that's a different podcast. So I waited forever. This guy basically accused me of stealing the tires.
Stop. Wait, I forgot that part.
I was there for over an hour. First of all, he was flirting with every customer before me. He kept making a joke like, do you have my $1,000? And none of them thought it was funny. He also had, what was his other joke? He would look at their receipt from whatever they're returning and he'd be like, wow, 53 items that day. You were really in the shopping mood, girl. And they wouldn't think it was funny. Like he had another joke that was kind of offensive too. And then he was working next to this other girl who will remain nameless, who was just as mean. Not the point. But basically when I came up, it was just like, they looked me up and down and thought that I was a criminal. So he basically had to go to the tire center, came back 20 minutes later. When he left, he said, I'll be back in an hour, which nobody thought was funny because I had already waited an hour. He came back and he goes, I just talked to them and they said that you got the tires yesterday and you have them. So unless you have the tires, you can't have a refund. And I looked at this man and I said, sir, like, where would I have 4 tires? Like, how would I carry 4 tires? I go look at my car. There's a boot on it. Like the tires are shredded. They're not the new tires. Like, how would you carry 4 tires?
Didn't you say like, it's impossible for me
I
to
told
carry
him,
around.
I said, it's humanly impossible. And I was like, they told me they wouldn't put them on because they were the wrong tires. So how would I even have the tires? I've never seen these. I still to this date have never seen these tires physically. You know what I mean? Like they say they had them, but they said that they were wrong. So anyway, he had to get the manager and then he had to get the other manager. And then that was the wrong manager. And then the auto manager had to prove that it happened. So then that went around and around and around and around, all while this guy's doing his $1,000 joke over and over and over to these poor women who are just trying to take advantage of Costco. Then all of a sudden, finally, the auto manager comes in and he goes, oh, you're the one with the raked tires from yesterday. And he looks at the guy and goes, process the return. So then the guy made me wait.
Thank God for that guy.
Thank God for that guy who has a brain. And he was nice and was, obviously telling this guy he's doing something wrong. I had to wait for him to check out or do 3 more returns. And then he goes, can I have your membership card? And he goes, oh, you're on your phone. I'll let you finish that first. That's what he said to me. And as I'm just literally on my phone for like 45 minutes waiting for you to press a button to give the money back, whatever. So then he's mad at me because I have the digital Costco card, which I'm like, they don't even make regular Costco cards anymore, do they? I don't know. Like everything's on your phone. Long story short, he was able to process the return, didn't say thank you, didn't apologize, nothing, handed me the little paper, and then proceeded to like do the joke to the next person. I'm just like, what is wrong?
What a dick.
So whatever you
together,
do,
Costco.
whatever you do not buy your tires at Costco, and do not go to the customer service at the Burbank Costco, because the manager, other than the auto manager should be promoted to the main manager. That's my opinion, because he was nice and helpful and kind and like clear communication. But if I worked there, I would say it's time for some layoffs, because there's a lot of people out there. My rant is, and we can be done with this topic because this is boring, but it's hard to get a job right now. And when you go to stores and they treat you like SHIT, in my brain goes to, because I don't care about that person. That's them projecting their trauma and getting away with it because of bad management. But it goes to, I've applied to work here and I would give amazing customer service, even to the mean people. And it's like, you're taking the job of somebody that wants to do a good job, and you're just in a position of privilege and power, and you think you can treat people poorly. And the biggest question is, does that joke ever get that guy dates?
It's probably because you're a white man that is gay and he's just like being a dick.
It's because, like, do you think it's because I'm gay?
I mean, if you had a vagina, he'd probably be asking you.
He'd be doing the joke.
Joking around with you.
He'd be doing the joke.
Like, oh, blah, 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 blah. But what a dick.
Or maybe he's like a failed stand-up comedian.
It's always the failed stand-up
or something.
comedians.
You know what I mean? And it's just like no one's told him to kill the baby.
Kill the baby means not actually killing the baby. We have to explain that one, because Glenn says that to me all the time, kill the baby, which I tell jokes a lot, just mostly to people who haven't heard them. And then you have heard them so many times that you tell me to kill the baby, which means...
Well, we all have our jokes.
Kill the thing that you love the most because you're doing it too much.
Yeah. Well, because sometimes it's funny and sometimes it's not landing. And I'm a comedy person. Like, and I want your jokes to be optimized. Like, and the only way to get a new joke is to try a new joke.
Yeah.
If you keep doing the old joke, like, and it's cringy to me, like it's probably cringy to the new audience.
And it's helpful just because
and it's not kill it. It's just like adapt it. You know what I mean? Like you don't have to sacrifice the whole joke.
Comedy 101.
It's just like, how can you plus it in this moment? And then maybe the old one will work. You know how I learned Kill the Baby?
School.
No, not school. So I got to go to New York one time. Well, I've been there more than one time, but the first time I went to New York, I saw the original production of Spam-A-Lot, which is a musical. If you're not familiar with theater, I got to see it the night before it opened on Broadway, starring Sarah Ramirez, who's on Grey's Anatomy now. Insane singer. Oh my God, she's good. Hank Azaria, you probably know him from like The Birdcage and everything. The voices. Tim Curry, who obviously has health problems now, but he was healthy then. David Hyde Pierce from Frasier. I mean, it was like all-star cast. And this was basically the first Broadway show I ever saw. And it blew my freaking mind. But because we were there with a school, we got to go to like a talk back, obviously with none of those people. It was like this guy who was in the he had lines, but he was in the ensemble, and then everybody's like, I want to be an actor. Let's ask questions. And one of the questions he answered by saying, like, this is a new show. The jokes aren't set yet. So like the director, one of the things he says is like, kill the baby. But it's hard because you worked so hard to get the joke in, to land the joke, to get it into the script. It's hard as an actor when something's really working to have them say like, well, it's not really working, or it's time for something new. And that always stuck with me, especially with comedy, because
it's such a harsh word. So anytime we say kill the baby, I feel like, let's explain that, especially like around,
especially around kids.
We were around kids the other day, and then we said kill the baby. We're like, no, not that baby. We're talking about the joke,
the virtual baby, metaphorical baby.
Another thing I want to talk about is you started at a new studio teaching spin.
I'm back.
Yes,
she's back.
Oh, and I recently took your class, and it killed me, but it was so good. I forgot how good you are at teaching spin.
She's a fitness girly now.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I haven't taught in years.
If you want to see like a lot of animation and a lot of interesting music and inspiration, you got to come take his class.
That's how you describe my class?
Yeah, it's super fun. There's a lot of choreography too.
We're trying to add more choreography. Cycling is a crazy thing because people are so particular. It's sort of like Kill the Baby. Like people were sold one thing, like at Soul Cycle or at their gym, and they can't open their mind to other things. So my goal as a cycling instructor is always to be like, this can be more than
Well, not
perfect
everybody's going
choreography.
to like every single class, but I think your class brings something different. You know, it's not so, I don't know. I've taken cycling classes in the past and they've been all right, but I think you and your sister teach these classes where it's just like super fun, relatable,
Shout out, Carly.
aspirational, while hilarious, because you guys have this like comedic timing that is super cool. And the music, I feel like you guys specifically try to be creative with your music choices too. When a lot of people, they just do the regular schmegular, like top 40, what's cool and what's cool now.
Nothing wrong with the classics.
Nothing wrong with it, but like, I don't know. I feel like you guys use your imagination. Just recently you taught to the guy who passed away.
James Earl Jones.
Yeah, and you wanted to give homage to, you know, him. He just passed away, and so obviously huge musical theater. You threw a couple of those songs from The Lion King in there, and people loved it.
I mean, I was sad that James Earl Jones died.
I know, it's so sad.
And they were like audio clips from the Beyonce remixed album, so it wasn't like out of line, I guess. I don't know, but it's true. Like I do come from the theater world. I mean, that was my education and passion for a long time, and still is a little bit. And I love fitness, like I always have. Like so is my sister, so have you. You know, and it's like you can combine the two things, like to make it more enjoyable. And I think like if people in different forms of entertainment were more open to theatricality and like delusion and applying technology. I mean, I think about like what would make me want to watch a football game. You know, like
dance,
not necessarily dance, but like, you know, right now it's a serious sport with some, you know, sport tension, but they don't play music. You know what I mean? Like they have girls in bikinis dancing on the side, like trying to get you excited, but that's, you know, a form of entertainment. You know what I mean? But it's like there's so many different, you know, paintbrushes in the toolkit of creativity and entertainment, because what are sports? It's entertainment. That's why it was created.
Yeah, if y'all could just do the haka right before, that'd be great.
But it's like, yeah, it's like what you always say, like how can you up the ante, you know, like, and with technology now, like I always think everything needs to be to the level of, if you remember the TV show Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, like it is the most dramatic show on earth for answering questions, you know, because
You're like, do you remember the show? It's still going on.
Well, it's an anniversary season right now, but it's no longer in prime time. So is it really going if it's not in prime time? I'm surprised none of the streamers have. I'm surprised it's not on Disney Plus as like, because it's such a good show, you know, and it's probably cheap to produce other than the $1 million prize.
Yeah.
Just make the questions harder. But the point of it is Who Wants to Be a Millionaire is so dramatic. And that's why I like it, because the lighting and the cameras and dun 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 dun, you know, and then when you win, they have confetti. And it's like if every sporting place, every movie theater, you know, it doesn't need to be distracting, but like utilize, you know, that's why we like Disney. Like they utilize all the tools, you know.
Now I'm just imagining like a football play with Who Wants to Be a Millionaire lighting, just like whoosh,
I'm telling you, like how much more entertaining would it be? Like if, you know, the shot clock or whatever, you know, I don't know sports terms, but, you know, goes off and they're trying to get the touchdown or whatever, you know, and then there's music, surround sound in the stadium that's like bum, 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 you know, like, and they can do it. Like if you've ever seen a Cirque du Soleil show, they're doing that music live. You know, the acrobats can't hit a beat because they're doing triple back flips or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, and they have to take a couple passes. So you can orchestrate live and they have the technology to do it now. So I'm just saying there's a lot of tools. So in a cycling class, you know, you have some lighting, you have a sound system, you have your voice.
NFL, NBA, you heard it here first.
I know, hire me as your producer. If you want to start selling some seats, I'm the one.
Yeah.
Because I'll be creative about it and I understand a budget.
Do we understand a budget?
But it's even like music artists, like Pink is playing the Dodgers Stadium tomorrow. And it's not sold out. You know what I mean? Like, and I can think of 100 ways that they could get those tickets sold, but they're not going to. You know what I mean? Like, and it's sad because people want to go.
And she's
incredible.
Really good, yeah.
The show's awesome, you know? And it's like, there's this sort of gap, like in life experiences. Usually it's financial. Obviously, they don't want to spend more money to do more activations and awareness and whatever, and they're not going to give away the seats. Like, there's this thing in the world, you know what I mean, culturally within the communities where it's like, we could get that. We could get there. So that's what cycling is to me. And I think to my little sister too. It's like the people that come to my cycling class, you don't know a lot about them, but you can kind of see through their eyes, like what they're struggling with.
Yeah.
And it's like, you just look at them and you're like, it could be a lot easier for you. You know what I mean? Like, and we're going to make at least this next hour something positive, like, I don't know. So there's a payoff other than the money.
It's exciting, and I love taking your class. And
I think I'm most excited that one day, hopefully, I can teach a class with my sister, like do a doubles class.
That'd be fun.
I think it would be really funny.
Are you teaching at any other studios?
No comment, but to be determined.
Do you want to plug your studio, the new studio that you started teaching at right now?
Yeah, shout out Get Sweat. It's in San Fernando and Valencia.
Who is she?
Valencia. Shout out Valencia. It's a really fun studio to teach at. San Fernando is a little more hardcore. They take it very seriously, and I like to have fun, but not that serious. They're super nice though. It's like a beautiful studio.
Yeah.
But yeah, come check out my class. Everybody that teaches there is good though. I've taken the other instructors.
And at this specific studio, which I think other studios might be like this sometimes, but it's heated.
Oh yeah, it's heated. So that's the other thing. So even if you're just pedaling, you're going to sweat, and it's worth every penny because it's like going to the sauna.
Even if you just don't pedal, you're going to sweat.
You're going to sweat. Yeah. It's crazy. But yeah, all their teachers are really good. I've taken now, I think 3 of the other instructors, and it was brutal.
Yeah.
So if you want like a chill, fun.
I think recently they had to leave off the heaters because in LA it's
like 100 degrees.
It's a heater in LA.
But yeah, that's new-ish in my life. And then I used to teach hot yoga, which I haven't done in forever. So maybe I'll go back to doing that. But I miss yoga.
Yeah. You're such a good teacher. Teach me everything.
Teachers teaching.
Anyway, thank you for watching the Number 2 podcast, and we'll see you next time.
And don't forget to follow us on socials at Similian and at Glenn.Haney or Glenncation or 2 Pod Clips. Until next time.
Bye.
Bye.